Maybe we should try trimming a brisket in the middle of the night, but it's not the middle of the night. It's like 8 o'clock. I'm trying to see if something cool will happen if I trim this brisket in the light of the moon. We're outside tonight with a black knife and the black sky. Oh, this is a big boy, 24-pounder. That's exactly what I was trying to avoid. What happens if you spill blood in the light of the moon? Get some garlic and wood steaks right away. All right. Oh, look at that. Damn butcher. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try trimming just some corners so that we can see what that fat cap looks like. We're gonna start just shaving. Oh, look, another one. Back jobs by the butcher. Look at that one too. Whoever butchered this brisket,
count your days.
You're a serial killer. Man, look at that. 3 huge gashes in this beautiful brisket. Actually, it's so nicely shaped too. The Dock fat, something like that.
What's it actually called?
Deckle.
Oh.
So let's set this aside. Let's talk about scraps again. 1 goes for rendered tallow and 2 goes for brisket burgers. None of this is going to waste. None of it. You can kind of eyeball and get like a general 80-20, 70-30 if you like your burgers a little fattier. Check our brisket one more time. And taking a page out of Mama and Papa Joe's, I'm trimming. I absolutely love the look of his briskets when they're done. They are works of art. Seems like a genuinely cool guy. Well, I say guy, but it's Mama and Papa Joe's channel.
They look like a really nice couple.
They seem like somebody I could totally hang out with, even if they don't like punk rock. And I know a lot of this is for the beauty of competition, maybe. And we're not competing, but it sure does look beautiful. And you may ask yourself, is all this necessary? I don't know. Isn't that what David Byrne said after trimming his brisket? You may ask yourself, what is this beautiful brisket?
And you may find yourself in a beautiful home.
So let's season this thing up with a real nice dose of salt. Remember, this is a big piece of beef. And it can handle it because it's going to be sitting on the smoker for at least 12 hours. And I don't use a binder. I usually spray with water if it needs it, but I'm not knocking it. So I guess I use water if necessary. That's my binder. Pepper, you want to go heavy, heavy pepper.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. Because you're going to lose all the peppery hop because of the length of the cook. You're almost just straight covering this entire thing with pepper to where you can't see the brisket at all. What goes better than trimming brisket in the middle of the night in the light of the moon? Seasoned in the Abyss. And Seasoned in the Abyss is not salt heavy. It's just got a great flavor all the way around. We're gonna salt the top side of this thing real good. Seasoned in the Abyss. You can see that this thing is 100% covered in spice. Mostly pepper, a lot of salt, and the rest of it's just seasoned in the abyss. Now we are gonna let this sit overnight so that we can put it on the smoker tomorrow morning and let it cook all day, and then we're gonna let it rest all the way until Saturday. 15 hours, and then we'll eat it for dinner. Because we got a really good friend coming over. This brisket, his name is Big Dave, and we're cooking Big Dave tomorrow. Not real Big Dave, we're cooking the brisket Big Dave. This is mini Big Dave for real Big Dave. Maybe we should just stop talking about cooking Big Dave. We like Big Dave. We don't want to eat him. We're not heathens. I'm just going to put it in the refrigerator, just open like this, so it gets a nice crust on it. All the moisture from the brisket itself is going to start drawing in these spices from the inside. I know that it's been tested. It doesn't really matter, and it doesn't truly matter. You can throw this on right now, and it will cook and taste wonderful because it's sitting on the smoker for so long, those spices are already going to soak in. So letting it sit overnight is not that big of a deal. But for me, it's a big deal so that I don't have to get up that early to put this thing on. Look at that thing of beauty. Some people might ask, should a brisket be cooked this early in the morning? Seriously? All right, let's get this party started. Right before this brisket cooked this morning, found out that Chuck Norris died, but I also know that that's not true because Chuck Norris doesn't die. Death Chuck Norris's. The smoker went up and went down. We're leveling out at about 200. That's where I want to start the brisket, and we'll put some heavy smoke on it for a while. That's beautiful. All in all, it's just another brisket in the wall. We've been rocking this brisket about 6 hours now. I haven't looked at it once. Here's my breakdown. 2 hours, rocking right around 200 degrees to put some heavy smoke on it. 225 for the next 2 hours, climb it up to 250, and then we're gonna ride it out on 250 for the rest of the way. Together. Oh, damn. That is glorious. For a brisket, we want to make sure that we're not getting any crispy, hard edges. You just want to make sure everything's still pliable and good. It is. Might be a little hard spot right back here. So we're going to tinfoil that bitch. We just want to cap the back like that so it gives it just a little protection so it doesn't dry out anymore. Right, see how that's spongy, super nice. The fat's starting to render. I'm just gonna temp it real quick to see where we're at. 140, 153. That bark is looking beautiful. So apparently when you trim a brisket by the light of the moon, this is what happens. It's a bark at the moon. Oh, nice. We're just about ready to wrap. And I saw this cool trick from one person online. I don't even know who it was. They made these two folds right here in the butcher paper. So what I'll do, fit those together like so. And it makes this cool seam to lock them together prior to wrapping. Have some of our tallow from the last cook. You're like, dang, Mark, that's a lot of tallow. I know. Did I tell you guys how much I hate these gloves? Oh. Pop that right on top of there. And a shout out to Michael Yim for the fantastic fold job. His fold job tucks right in the back there. Such a beautiful thing. What I like to do, we've got the point at about 180 and then low 170s at the lean. I like to flip them around and point this towards the fire this time so that they kind of even out the cook. And now that it's wrapped, I think I might bump up the temps a little bit, maybe 275-ish to render some more fat out of there. It is looking fantastic. So we're just a little over 12 hours.
Started? Hey, I'm on the set of Smoke and Destroy just for a short time. Look at that baby wiggle.
That's a limp brisket. Wiggle, wiggle.
Wow, like butter.
Like butter.
Watcha. Look at that, dude.
The Father thinks I'm fine. There's no call for emergency. I'll make it through this till I can see the end of this nightmare.
Isn't that good? You know?
But I'm feeling lucky. I just want to shout. I'm feeling empty.
And then I got nothing. I had nothing. I did it all for the brisket.
The what?
The brisket. So you can take that Trisket, stick it up your